Hello, friends. So today I want to be talking about why we crave sugar during the holidays, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to control that. So many of us grew up with the holidays centered around sweets and food. Sometimes people give us sweets as a form of comfort, or we have family members who show their love through giving us food. And sometimes we don't want that food, or we know we don't need it, but we feel that guilt if we don't take it. So I hope this episode is going to help you live more intentionally this holiday season. Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michelle, mama 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. So as you guys listen to this episode today, I want you to really make sure that you're grabbing a takeaway. So that can be a thought. And then I want you to also make sure that you have an action step takeaway. So we have to take action to make changes. And before we get started today, I just wanted to share a review from one of my clients who has graduated from working with my coaching. She did my personal training app and my coaching. And it really helped her to understand her emotional and stress eating and figure out how to do things differently. So as you're going through the holidays, especially when we have more stress and we're just around a lot more food, I want you to know that you can do things differently.
I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Michelle for helping me in my health journey. I started with Michelle about 7 months ago because I was feeling stuck. Her insight was invaluable right from the beginning. We talked about not only physical health, but emotions that were keeping me stuck. Michelle laid out a plan to get me moving and slowly build strength. We also talked about what my body needed in terms of food, no diet or meal plans. It was clear from the beginning that there's no quick fix, and she wanted to set me up for long-term success. At this point, I feel like I can take the knowledge and information she gave me and continue to move forward in my health journey. While I have lost 17 pounds, more importantly, she's given me the tools to continue to make progress and stay healthy for the rest of my life. I really appreciate my time spent with Michelle.
So I encourage you guys that if you're feeling stuck, that if you're hoping for consistency, if you're trying things and they're not working and you're not sticking to them, to set up a free call with me. And on this call, we'll just get to know each other a little bit better, see where you are, and start to figure out what is that next step that is doable for you. How can we start nourishing your body and really building the strong foundation of health? So make sure you guys check the link down below to set up that free call. So let's dive into really understanding the cause of these holiday sugar cravings. So God really designed our body for whole foods. It really is such a really new thing that we have all this processed food, all of this sugar, that our bodies are just not meant for this. And they just don't do well eating a highly processed food diet, having lots of sugar. So many of us grew up in families where holidays are really centered around foods and especially sweets. And we tend to associate that sugar and that sweetness with comfort, warmth, and love. So who wouldn't want more of those sweets and those comforting foods if that's what we feel from it? So maybe when we were a child, we received a treat as a gift and we knew that person loved us, or we were sad and they gave us some type of sweet to make us feel better. You can imagine that emotional charge still lives in us today. And it can become even worse around the holidays. And also when we're talking about sugar, when we have sugars, we get a dopamine hit. And so this is our brain's reward center. It makes us feel good. And it can provide a temporary relief in our mood from whatever feeling or uncomfortable sensation we're having. And again, it's only temporary. So we're not even aware of this. It's just happening in our body and we're reaching for that food, whatever makes us feel better. And then we feel a little better. And then that pattern in our brain gets even stronger, even though we're never really solving the problem. And it's really keeping us out of choice with what we want to do and what we know is good for our body. And especially during the holidays when stress levels are higher, sugar and high carb food gives us a quick fix when we're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or lonely. So all these habits that we have in place that really may not be suiting us really can get amplified during the holiday season if stress and busyness are going up. And also, once we start eating sugar, typically it leads to more and more sugar cravings, and it's harder to break the cycle. Because there's some people who can have a little bit of sugar and be okay. Some people can't, because then they just crave more and more. But especially as you're having more and more sugar, it just really amps that cycle up. Your body craves it and wants more, even though it's not nourishing or good for our body, but we crave that dopamine hit and that way it makes us feel. So as I'm sort of giving some of these different reasons why we have sugar cravings, I want you to understand that there's a biological, emotional things going on, and we have to come at ourselves with self-love and kindness. If we're beating ourselves up and shaming ourselves, we are not going to move forward. We're going to stay stuck. So sometimes when we're in those self-defeating behaviors, it's actually making us stay stuck and not move forward. So just understand there's all this stuff going inside our body that we're really not aware of. So we need to have compassion and kindness for ourselves and be curious to be able to move forward and to do something different. And on a very practical note here, one of my favorite healthy drinks is Organifi's green juice. And this can also be a tool to help manage sugar cravings, balance your blood sugar, boost your energy, and reduce stress, all of which can help to curb our cravings. So one, it balances blood sugar because it contains superfoods like spirulina, calera, turmeric, and that can help to stabilize our blood sugars. And especially when we add some extra protein powder in it. So when I have my green juice, I really like the green apple crisp. I will use some unsweetened almond milk. I'll put the green powder in it. I'll also put like half a scoop of collagen protein and then half a scoop of a plant-based protein that has like a vanilla flavor to it. And I have this almost every morning. This green juice also has ashwagandha, so it can help reduce stress. And especially when stress is high during the holidays, we need anything we can to help reduce our stress and lower cortisol. And it also has matcha from green tea, which can really help support our energy and alertness. And it doesn't have the caffeine in it. So it can really be a great way to manage your cravings and support and nourish your body from the inside. I also really like their Organifi Gold. This would be an evening drink that you have warm. And it can be a really nice way, instead of doing a sweet treat, is to end it with the Organifi Gold. It's going to have calming herbs like lemon balm and turmeric. If it's available, I really like their pumpkin pie spice flavor. All right. And if you guys want to order, use the code HEALTHY20. That's going to save you 20% off your order. And anytime you go to reorder, use that same code so you can get that discount. There's going to be links down below where you guys can have more information about my favorite green juice. So now I'm going to go into 5 very practical tips on how to break free from your sugar cravings during the holidays. So number 1 is make sure to fill up with protein and fiber. So when you eat enough protein and fiber, it's going to help regulate your blood sugar and help to keep you full longer, which is going to reduce the likelihood of those intense sugar cravings. Of course, it's not going to take away strong emotions that you have going on, but from a physical aspect, when we have enough protein and fiber, that helps to regulate our blood sugar and keep us feeling full. So things like lean meats can be really great. Having protein powder, maybe a mindful portion of nuts or seeds, and things also like eggs and unsweetened Greek yogurt can be really good sources of protein. So tip number 2 is to practice deep breathing and other stress relieving activities. So, as I was saying in the beginning, the stress is bumping up during the holidays, and that can make us go to grab sweets or carby foods to help to decrease that feeling of stress in our body. So if we can practice deep breathing, that's one of my favorite things to do. where you breathe in through your nose. Allow your belly to expand. We just don't want the breath to be in the chest. When that belly expands, that means that we're using our diaphragm. And then you really want to do a slow exhale. I really like to purse my lips and let that breath come out really slow, and also relaxing my neck, shoulders, muscles on that exhale. So that can be a really quick thing to do. But also, what else helps to reduce your stress? Things like yoga, journaling, going for a walk, being outside. And another thing I really like to do is to use tapping or EFT. I just became certified in it, and it's a really quick, easy way to calm your body in the stress response in the moment. And also, you can use EFT or tapping to really work through issues. So if you keep getting triggered by something through EFT tapping, you can work through that emotion and that thought that you're having and start to really break that down. But you can also just use the tapping in the moment to calm your body and to help regulate your nervous system. So I especially like teaching my clients how to use tapping. So in a session, we might use tapping where we're working through a specific issue, but then they also know how to do tapping just in the moment where they can tap on those points, start to relax their body and regulate their nervous system so that they're not as stressed. And when they're not as stressed, they're not going to reach for that food or make choices that they really don't want to. Tip number 3 is to plan ahead and make choices in advance. So really deciding ahead of time if and when you're going to indulge in holiday sweets, and really setting boundaries that you feel are right for you. So we don't have to completely cross off sweets, but we do need some boundaries. We need to be intentional about what we're doing. And this will help to reduce those impulsive choices of just grabbing something or just eating from the table where it's served versus putting what you want on a plate and becoming very aware of what you're eating. It helps you to be more mindful when you're eating and to stay focused on your goals. Because if you do have a dessert or whatever food that you enjoy, you should be able to enjoy it mindfully and really enjoy it versus just grazing off the counter or eating it so fast that you're not really enjoying it. So when you plan ahead and make choices of what do I really want, and imagining yourself enjoying it mindfully, slowly. We're used to eating so fast, and I still catch myself doing this sometimes. How can we slow down that eating and really enjoy it? And this is a great time using that visualization ahead of time of seeing yourself mindfully choosing what you really want and mindfully eating it and slowing down. Because sometimes when we start to do this visualization, our brain starts to build that neural network in our brain, and it helps us to use it when we're in the moment. Number 4, I just talked a little bit about, is practice mindful indulgence. So remembering that it's okay to enjoy those holiday treats without guilt. And when you choose to have sugar, again, savor that bite, eat it mindfully. Because this can actually help you to feel more satisfied without that urge to keep going back for more and more. Because remember, let's say you really love chocolate chip cookies, homemade ones somebody makes that you know. And let's say you have one, you eat it slow, you really enjoy it. Now imagine eating 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, all in the same couple hours. It doesn't make that chocolate chip cookie any better. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Having more of something doesn't make it any better. It still tasted just as the same as that one bite. So really practice mindfully indulging in those things that you enjoy and watching that portion size with it, because again, more of it does not make it any better. And I also want you to keep in mind that fear of missing out, because sometimes that happens. We think like, I can only get these chocolate chip cookies from this person at Christmas time, so I have to eat a lot of them. But it's going to be there next year and the year after. We go in these seasons and cycles, so we don't need to overdo it because we have to wait a year. Most of us are living when there is like way too much food around us all the time, so we have to teach our brain that. Because it really wasn't long ago where maybe people didn't have as much food, and there were times where food was more scarce. For most of us, that is not the case. It is the opposite. So teach your brain that it's going to be there next year, that you're safe, and that you have enough food. Number 5 is shift the focus away from sugar and other food that is notable around the holidays. So help to encourage yourself to create new holiday memories that don't revolve around sugar and food. So maybe this is just talking with your family. Maybe this is going on a walk together, or playing some football, or throwing a ball, or decorating together, or playing games. There's so much more to the holiday than just food. So we have to really look for that and expand on that. Because I'm sure most of you, if you're looking back and you want to remember the holiday, you don't necessarily really care if you remember if you ate that chocolate chip cookie or your favorite mashed potatoes. That can be great, but for most of us, it's going to matter, did we connect with our kid or this family or this other person in our family? Did we do a game? Did we laugh together? Those memories are going to stick with you more than food, or especially overeating on food. That's going to be a bad memory. So let's focus on all these other positive experiences that we can have around the holidays. One thing my family likes to do, and we always did growing up when we got together with the extended family, is to play run around ping pong. So this is where you can imagine like 12 plus people all around a ping pong table, and you hit the ball and then you move. So the circle keeps moving, and then you just keep eliminating people as they miss. So this is a really good memory I have, especially with my dad's side of the family. We would play it every Christmas at my aunt's house. Now, I also know my aunt had some good cookies, but those memories, laughing and playing around the ping pong table, are what I remember the most. So let me recap those 5 tips. 1, fuel up on protein and fiber. 2, practice deep breathing and other ways to reduce your stress. So not just in the moment, but outside of those stressful moments. Number 3, plan ahead and make choices in advance. 4, practice mindful indulgence. And 5, shift that focus away from sugars and what you really want the holiday to be about. All right, I'm going to put these tips down in the description too. So if you're a visual person, you guys can see those. And remember, if you guys need some support, or if you're feeling stuck, or you know that there's going to be specific things that are hard around the holidays that you need coaching or support with, set up that free call with me and let's chat, and let's see if we can get you through the holidays with less stress and living more intentionally for your health. All right, friends, I hope that you guys have a great week. Keep on moving and keep taking that one step forward in your health.